In today's episode, we remember Khasi freedom fighter U Tirot Sing Syiem, who died on the 17th of July 1835. Hailed for his warfare tactics, valor and uncompromised control over the Khasi region against British occupation, U Tirot Sing Syiem was among the fiercest leaders of the Anglo-Khasi War that was fought from 1823 to 1833. His death anniversary is commemorated every year as a state holiday in Meghalaya.
Tirot Sing drew his lineage from the Syiem League clan and declared war and fought against the British for attempts to take over control of the Khasi Hills. Initially, the British and Tirot Sing came to an agreement, that is permission for the road project between Guwahati and Sylhet in lieu of regaining possession of the passes into Assam called Dwars. But the regional king Balram Singh disputed Tirot Singh's claim to the Dwars and went ahead with a party of armed men to establish his claim. When news came that the British were reinforcing forces in Assam, Tirot Singh convened a darbar again and passed orders for the British to evacuate Nongklao.
The British did not pay any heed, and the Khasis attacked the British garrison in Nongklao. In the Anglo-Khasi War, the Khasis lacked firearms and had only swords, shields, bows and arrows. Therefore, they resorted to guerrilla activity, which dragged on for about 4 years. Tirot Singh was shot at by the British and had to hide in a cave. He was eventually captured by the British in January 1833 and deported to Dhaka. U Tirot Sing Syiem died on the 17th of July 1835. We also remember freedom fighter Veer Hasaram Pamnani, who died on the 17th of July 1940. Born at Rohri on the 10th of April 1889 in Sindh, Pamnani resigned his government job during the non-cooperation movement in 1921 and joined the national movement. He was jailed multiple times for his participation in the freedom movement.
In 1937, Pamnani was elected to the Sindh Legislative Assembly. When communal passions flared up in the area, Pamnani exposed the conspiracy behind the development in the Sindh Legislative Assembly. However, Veer Hasaram Pamnani was shot dead by the communalists on 17th of July 1940 for foiling their attempt at starting a communal riot.
We also remember Gandhian freedom fighter Kishore Yesav, who died on the 17th of July 1930. A resident of Palghar, Maharashtra, Kishore was actively involved in the civil disobedience movement at Dharasana, Gujarat. He was injured in the police lathi charge on the Satyagrahis. Instead of providing Kishore with first aid, the police arrested and detained him in the Arthur Road jail. He was incarcerated in the jail for about 15 days and was shifted thereafter to JJ Hospital in a critical condition. Kishore Yesav succumbed to his injuries 2 days later on the 17th of July 1930.
We also remember independence activist Guriya, who took part in the First War of Independence in 1857. Guriya was caught by the British and put on trial for aiding and abetting the uprising against the British. He was sentenced to imprisonment for 14 years with hard labor in irons. He died in captivity on the 17th of July 1859 in the Andaman Islands.